So, as you can imagine, I am understandably rather annoyed right now. I didn't expect that result in the slightest. I would have, even with the new manager or caretaker manager, POM, whatever they want to call it, I would have definitely expected a win tonight. And I'm not feeling any excitement or joy in the fact that we've pulled back a 2-0 scoreline to draw 2-2 at home to Leeds, because this is still a game we should be winning, and even at 2-2 with 20 minutes to go, it's a game that we should then still be winning. So I'm very frustrated in regards to the scoreline, and unfortunately, for the second time in about 3 weeks, I'm going to have a small pop at the manager for this one. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say Ten Hag is a problem. I've been more than happy. I couldn't be any happier, to be honest, with how Ten Hag has done so far. I would never have expected us to be even close to the position that we're in right now at the start of the season. But, like I say, for the second time in 3 weeks, off the back of the Arsenal game, I just think Ten Hag's got it wrong tonight. Now, I don't know if that's in the overall team selection itself or the applications of the instructions that have been given, but the players on the pitch tonight just weren't right for the places that they were playing in. Now, obviously his hands were a bit tied in regard to some areas. Wan-Bissaka was ill, Antony's picked up an injury, Eriksen's obviously injured for a while, but Sabitzer's come in for him. Casemiro got suspended, and I can understand the reasons for not appealing it, because if we'd appealed and lost, he would have missed the League Cup final, so I can understand that. So there were decisions that had to be made tonight in regards to the starting lineup that were forced due to a number of reasons. However, I still think the team that he went with wasn't, like I say, either wasn't the right one, or the application of the instructions just weren't there, because we were absolutely all over the place from minute one. I couldn't tell you for the first 25 minutes where Marcus Rashford was playing. I don't know if he was supposed to be a second striker. I don't know if he was supposed to be playing right wing. I don't know if he was supposed to be playing in the attacking midfield role with Bruno out wide. He was just sort of drifting all over the place without really doing anything. Fred and Sabitzer, I thought Sabitzer played quite well tonight. I think he's a pretty good addition to the squad by the looks of things, but I think he was the one that was supposed to be playing the Casemiro role, Sabitzer, but he just kept going forward, same as Fred. And there were situations where Fred and Sabitzer would both go forward, and then there was just no holding midfielder. Like, we've been playing a bit more of like a 4-1-4-1 over the last few weeks, where Casemiro sits, and then Eriksen or Fred joins Bruno in that attacking line. But it was like, when we got the ball today, Sabitzer joined the attacking line, and Fred joined the attacking line, and it was a 4-0-5-1. It just didn't look right. And like I say, we just looked so all over the place. And the first goal comes within the first minute of the game because so early on, players are already out of position. Bruno's picked the ball up in the right wing position. Like I say, is he supposed to be at right wing? Is he supposed to be at cam? Is Rashford supposed to be at right wing? I don't know. But Bruno's picked the ball up in the right wing position. And he's lost the ball. Not for the first time. Sorry, for the first time, but not for the last time. In that first half, Bruno Fernandes loses the ball in a dangerous position. Ball breaks to Gnonto. Dalot and Varane don't really know which one should be going with him. I thought Dalot really struggled tonight on his first game back. Again, it was enforced, but we'll get to him more in a moment. Dalot's not sure whether to go to his man, which is Gnonto, or drop back with Bamford, because Varane's a bit out of position because Bruno's lost the ball. They both end up backing off, and Gnonto puts a good finish in the corner, which I think De Gea probably couldn't have done anything about, to be honest. He was a bit unsighted, and like I say, his defence have firstly lost the ball through Bruno Fernandes, and secondly, they've backed off of the shot, which you can't do at any stage of the game, let alone at the start of the game when players are fresh and able to do whatever they really want. Game goes on. We have a couple of pop shots. I thought, again, Sabitzer had a couple of good shots, creating half chances, but overall play was really sloppy. Like I say, players were just drifting all over the place. Weghorst did absolutely nothing tonight. I was really disappointed with him. He just didn't really offer any threat at all. He kept dropping in off the front, almost then making it a six-man midfield with no CDM and no striker. Players were just losing the ball too easily. Leeds were pressing fantastically well. Like, you can't just sit here and say, oh, we've had a bad performance and that's why we've not done anything. Leeds put in a good performance today, and they deserved at least a point for the performance they put in today, but we have contributed to it heavily. And obviously, the game goes on. Like I say, half chances. Could have gone 2-0 down or even 3-0 down in the first half. But we end the first half at 1-0. So I'm sitting there at half-time going, well, now we've got to make changes. Weghorst needs to come off. We need to put Rashford up front, keep Garnacho on the left, and then bring Jadon Sancho on, or someone like that on the right-hand side, Pellistri, just to provide that little bit more balance, and maybe do what I thought he was going to do tonight and put Lindelof in the Casemiro role at holding midfield, which he did do for the last 10 minutes of the game, but I thought he might do it at the start of the game, and I really thought he'd do it at the start of the second half. But no, the only tactical change at half-time was he just swapped Garnacho and Rashford, put Rashford on the left, Garnacho on the right, and lo and behold, nothing really changed. Leeds get the ball again, sloppy defending from Manchester United, and Dalot is caught isolated again. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that if Wan-Bissaka had started this game, both goals wouldn't have happened, but I do think it to a slight extent. I think Wan-Bissaka wouldn't have let Gnonto make that run. I think he would have gone to Gnonto and let Varane deal with Bamford on the first goal. And on the second goal, Wan-Bissaka would have been a lot tighter. I can't remember who put the ball into the box, but Wan-Bissaka would have been a lot tighter to that player. Wouldn't have allowed that ball to come into the box, and I think that goal would have been snuffed out like that. And then I do have to feel slightly sorry for De Gea on this one, but it's because of his history as to why this goal's gone in my opinion. Because for the first time in 13 years, David De Gea came out for a cross tonight. And because of it, when Rafael Varane intercepted it, but didn't catch it properly, De Gea's not on the goal line to save it, and the ball's gone in for an own goal. But, like I say, that is a mistake from Varane. But that comes from a history of De Gea not coming for crosses. And I will die on this stick if I have to. Because that is a clear sign of a defence that doesn't trust their goalkeeper to deal with crosses. And we've seen it so many times over the last few years. I think Bailly's done it twice against Liverpool. Maguire's done it a couple of times. Varane's done it tonight. Centre-backs are having to overcommit within their own 6-yard box to cover for a goalkeeper that they don't trust to come and deal with crosses. And what's happened tonight is De Gea's come out. He's clearly not communicated to Varane that he's come out. And Varane has stuck his leg out because he's assuming, like normal, De Gea is not going to be there, and it's gone into the back of his own net. It's unfortunate all round, but it's just all round poor play. Finally, at 2-0 down, Erik ten Hag decides to make the changes. He puts Pellistri on, he puts Jadon Sancho on, he puts Rashford up front. There's a lot more balance to the team, and immediately we start creating chances. Sabitzer gets a little bit more calmed down as well. He starts sitting a little bit deeper, starts spraying some more longer passes rather than pushing forward as far and taking long shots like he was in the first half, and that's how we get our goal. Long ball by Sabitzer, good play from Pellistri, good cross from Dalot, and a good header from Rashford, and poor Weghorst is sitting on the bench thinking, why didn't I get a cross like that all night? But I think the reason he didn't is because Rashford is so much more of a threat. I think Leeds worked out pretty quickly that Weghorst wasn't going to be too much of a problem for them. So they were able to keep the line relatively high, not allow Weghorst the opportunity to bring other players into the game. Whereas the moment Rashford's gone up front, he starts stretching the defensive line. Pellistri's pulling him one way, Sancho's pulling him another, Rashford's pulling him down the middle. Space gets created, chance gets created, and we make it 2-1. Pile on the pressure more and more and more and more. Create some more opportunities. Probably could have made it 2-2 earlier than we actually did. And then we score a relatively scrappy second, but deserved due to the overall pressure that we were putting on. Sancho, good link-up play with Shaw, has one go, gets blocked, gets the rebound, sort of scuffs the second shot. It goes through a bunch of bodies. Meslier can't really see it. You'd probably say from a Leeds perspective the goalie should do better, but it ends up in the back of the net and it's 2-2. And then we just don't quite keep that momentum going for the rest of the game. I feel like we could have done a lot more, and I don't know if the substitutions then became a negative impact. Obviously, Leeds started looking for counters of their own to try and nick a winner. Sabitzer got booked, thanks to some more poor play from Fred. Me singing his praises for being man of the match against Crystal Palace. He was absolutely shocking tonight, Fred. All over the place in terms of his passing. Back to the usual Fred that I know and hate, where he gets the ball, looks around, then just passes it to the opposition. Or, even worse, gets the ball, doesn't look, and passes it to the opposition. And that obviously then got Sabitzer booked, meaning that Ten Hag couldn't risk us losing another midfielder. So he then put Lindelof on, and that sort of lost some of that attacking impetus that Sabitzer was offering to us. And yeah, we had some chances. somehow, seemingly all of them seemed to fall to Fred, who just seemed to casually side-foot it to Meslier every single time. There was a half chance for Bruno. There wasn't really an out-and-out chance for Rashford after we made it 2-2. Sancho, I thought, looked really lively, but in the end, it was just pressure without any genuine threat, and I don't think we deserved to get a third goal in those last 20 minutes, and the result ends 2-2, and it's a real shame because yet again I sit here off the back of a wasted opportunity. If we'd have started the game how we went about it when we were 2-0 down, we'd have won this game comfortably tonight, because we played Leeds off the pitch for a good 30 minutes in that second half, but got the 2 goals, not enough to get the third that we needed to get the win. But I just think the tactics, or again, like I say, player instructions weren't followed properly, and that has to sadly fall on the manager tonight, because as poor of the players have played, he still has to take responsibility for how they've set up and how he's wanted them to play, and obviously it's not come off. So big lessons need to be learned before Sunday's game, because obviously we are playing Leeds again, but this time in front of an Ellen Road crowd that are going to be well up for it after getting a 2-2 draw against Manchester United at Old Trafford. So I would say changes from the start are an absolute must. I think Sancho needs to start. I wouldn't be starting Weghorst at all in the second game. I'd be starting Rashford up front. Maybe, like I say, you play Garnacho on the left, Sancho on the right, Bruno off of Rashford. I think that's dangerous. I still like the idea of potentially starting Lindelof or Martinez in midfield, because, like I say, Sabitzer and Fred were just too loose, in my opinion. We need someone with a little bit more composure and defensive nous in the midfield. And, like I say, as much as I praised Diogo Dalot for the first half of the season, I really thought, probably with the exception of Kieran Trippier, Dalot was the best right-back in the league up until the World Cup. But tonight, he didn't look back to match sharpness. He looked all over the place defensively. Going forward, he was nowhere near as good as he normally is. Obviously, he did get the assist, but that was probably the only good thing going forward he did all game. And I really feel like we missed Aaron Wan-Bissaka tonight at right back again. Just that defensive solidarity. Against a player as tricky as Nonto is, you need someone who's going to be consistent in the tackle. And Dalot isn't that. And unfortunately, we've conceded 2 goals down that side of the pitch. And I think it was very noticeable that Wan-Bissaka wasn't playing. So, fingers crossed, Wan-Bissaka is back for the second game against Leeds. Fingers crossed Ten Hag makes some more tactical changes ahead of the second game. I will sadly not be here this weekend. I am on holiday. I am away in Amsterdam this weekend. So, there will be no post-match reaction to the Leeds game. I'm probably not even going to be watching the Leeds game because obviously I will be away. So, the next time you will see me in a Manchester United capacity will be my reaction to the first leg against Barcelona. And blimey, does that scare me after what I've just seen tonight. But yeah, usual videos will still be available. I'm going to pre-record a couple of the Champions League videos just in case I'm not back in time to get them up at the usual time. So normal videos will still be as usual. Tomorrow morning will be fantasy football. Friday morning will be predictions. And then Champions League predictions will come Tuesday and Wednesday, although they'll probably be pre-recorded. So I won't be able to give you that Premier League or weekend fixtures insight into the Champions League games, but that's just the way it is when you go on holiday. But as always, let me know in your comments your thoughts about the game. I'm sure the Arsenal fans are going to be laughing once again that they've somehow managed to get away with losing to Everton now, as it seems, with City losing, Newcastle drawing, and now Manchester United drawing, meaning that Arsenal are 5 points clear of City with a game in hand. Sorry, I think it's 2 points clear of City with a game in hand. It might be 5, can't remember. But more importantly, they're 7 points clear of Manchester United with 2 games in hand, albeit one of them against Manchester City. So, arguably, we have thrown away an opportunity to get back into the title race tonight. We've failed to capitalise on Arsenal's mishap against Everton, and now we're relying on an awful lot of things to go our way once again. And we're relying on a big performance at Ellen Road on Sunday to quell the risk of dropping down points to Newcastle and Tottenham, who are hot on our heels once again. So, as always, like I say, leave your comments on today's thoughts, drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I'll see you tomorrow morning for Fantasy Football.